So we are now live. The February 26th, 2016 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
We were talking a little bit about the light turnout today. People doing taxes, actually doing work instead of coming and playing. And the difference between Zoom and Hangouts, too. I miss on the Hangouts the ability to send invites. You don't get that with Zoom. You're actually using a link to get on. So we put it in the Facebook page, and that notice, sometimes people have them turned off. And sometimes the notices don't come for an hour later. By then, we're out of here. So I have been trying to send them out. I have, I think, 22 people now on my Hangout chat, and I put the link there. So hopefully people will come. If not, we'll see them next week.
So Gina, you must have a special chat saved somewhere that you can reuse?
When I bring my chat up, I see all my past chats.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I'm just reusing the prior week. And
okay.
people have been added, as we go along. And the other things, talking about that, I want to talk about our Facebook group. There's a lot of people that are starting to ask to come on, and I'm happy to have anybody that wants to come on. But I want to protect our group for us. I want it to be specifically for people that are actually participating in the Hangouts. Not necessarily looking for somebody that's going to want to just spam and say, oh, look at the products that I have. Because I'm finding that's happening a lot too. People that are building apps find us and say, oh, this is the audience we want to target. Let me join that group. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in us. I think we're a special group. We're helping each other out. The Smart Sheet Hangout after hours last week was amazing. And I'm very happy that we're able to do that kind of collaboration and work with each other and help each other learn.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I kind of want to protect that. I think we're a special group and I want to keep that special. So while we're happy to have anybody join us, I want people that participate.
Right.
So
I listened to that twice and I'm saving it. I think I'm going to listen to it again. The Smart Sheet one is really, that's pretty involved.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that it was involved and very detailed and very advanced because of the people that were involved working with it, people that have been using it and had specific questions, and what one person figured out, another person really could use, and the other person figured out things that working together in the collaboration really makes us more than just the sum of the group.
That's really true. Plus, I guess those two seem like geniuses with the Smart Sheets, I tell you that.
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
Smart Sheets is an awesome app, too. And I want to thank Sarah for sharing that with us. Yeah, she was the one, I think, that brought it. Her husband, Mark, showed it to her, and she brought it to the rest of us. So,
the other thing I was curious about that I'm really looking for is an email organizer. And I think we've talked about this before, but I have one like in my head imagined, because I have all these clients with different emails, that I set up.
Right.
Sometimes I do want them, I want to go into the cloud and have everybody on there and have like this tabs across the way. And each tab represents an email address.
Ah, okay.
Oh, wow.
And then you could see, who's sending them. I mean, like what I think I love about Mac, iOS, On my devices, when I get an email, if I have my contact with a picture, it brings up the contact with their picture anytime they call me or email me. So I know I could see it, and I'm looking for something that is like that for my email. So like I said, all the tabs, there's different tabs across, and each tab represents an email address. Like, for instance, like I have, I'm making this up. So YMS Bear Company, okay, or the Bear Company has its special email that I set up for them to send me emails. So, and then to the left is like, how I correspond to them,
Right.
But I just want something that I can go into the clouds.
Well, let me make a suggestion. I use Google, and I have set up a separate profile called Client Emails. So when I go into that, when I open it up, that profile, I see a list of the client emails that I've created like that. It's not a tab, but it's a list. Like, when you open up Chrome, you'll see your picture and your email.
Yeah.
Well, I have a list of the client names. So it's not necessarily a tab, but it does put everything all in one place, and I am able to click on each one. I've saved the passwords for each one, so it's super easy. I can just go down one after the other.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about this, Linda. Gina, because what I want to do is, because these are like how I told you that I've done for several years now. I've created separate. Every time I get a new client, I create a new email.
Right.
So this client, this is the email that you need for any email you want to send me. This is the email address you're going to send me to. And so I have so many now that it's just like beyond. It's madness.
You want to keep control of them.
I can't. Every time I go to the emails, I panic because there's so much.
Well, we'll have to have a private.
Yeah, you'll have to show me.
Okay.
Okay, when you have time.
Yep.
We'll work something out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have Dennis on, we have Sarah, and who else just came on? Did someone come on and leave? Joanne. Hey, Joanne. All muted except for Sarah.
Uh-oh.
Did you go to, I wonder how Joanne's hangout went. Her Zoom. She had one at 1:30, and I was going to try to make it.
It was about LinkedIn, and it was excellent.
Is my microphone?
Come on, Joanne, that's unmuted. We want to hear you. She's eating her fish.
Oh, it's Friday.
That's right.
I don't have fish.
Hi, Bev.
Hello.
Bev, how are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm just hunky.
Good. I'm sitting in the car again, so let's see if we can get this to work.
Okay, awesome. You and Brandon. Brandon's in the car, too.
Brandon's always in the car.
Brandon's always in the car.
That's how Brandon joins us. Okay, so Yvette, you were talking about a bill pay or electronic check?
Yeah.
Buy deluxe checks?
Right. It's called Verify Valid, and I wanted to know if anybody has used that.
I got one today.
Yeah, they're great. I haven't used it.
I was going to call my client and see how she did it.
You could print it out on your computer.
I know, because there's nothing on the back. It looked like somebody just used their computer and made up a check.
Yeah, and I hear they're very safe. They're safeguarded and everything. I heard about this because I talked to somebody yesterday who was referring me to a client. And I said, well, are they on Bill.com? Because they're a contractor and they have like 20, 30 employees. And also, all the vendors that they have to pay. I said, no, we don't do Bill.com. We do Verify Valid. And I said, what the heck is that? And so she took me, she look them up. And it works really great because it's not like you have to mail the check, and sometimes if we miss the payment and they need it right away, it takes 5 minutes. You go to the website, verifyvalid.com, and you have a login. And I don't know exactly how it works, but I need to call Verify Valid. And she says you just enter the stuff, and their email and the check. They could either print the email from their computer or they could scan it and it scans to their bank.
Well,
Does
what
that
do
mean? Go ahead.
Yes?
is it like a regular check? Do I take it to the bank?
Yeah, you can.
Well,
That was
do
my
they-
question.
Do they print it out on plain old white paper?
Plain old white paper. And she says the banks used to question it, but not anymore. They know what they are, you know?
I haven't looked it up to see if that's my client's routing number or not, or account number.
And do you have a mobile app on your phone for your bank?
No, for my corporation, I'll drop them in my scanner and
Oh, okay.
scan them right into QuickBooks. Except that in the last 3 months or so, I have to reinstall the app every freaking time. That's just how much I hate to get in the car and go to the bank. But yeah, it burped this morning, so I've got this last stack to do, and I just rebooted, and then I realized what time it was. But I was about to see if the scanner was working. But I got this in the mail today, and I'm like,
Does it look like a regular check? I know you can't show us.
Well,
Don't show
I don't
us.
know if it's the same thing, Sarah, because she told me I haven't seen it yet. I just went to their website and you could see how it works, but it looks like they'll email it to you and it looks like a regular check and you could print it out.
it's a plain old check. Check.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
But
it's
the
got
back is
her
blank.
signature is obviously a scanned copy of her signature.
Mhm.
And
That's
this particular checkbook, I know this woman she very rarely uses this checkbook. And so it's just all handwritten. And so maybe she did this so she didn't have to handwrite checks anymore.
Maybe.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. I'm looking forward to finding out how much it cost for that.
Yeah, because I have a client that I know this is going to work for them. And because she's in different parts of the country, sometimes, and I think this will work really good.
So what's the advantage of this other than not handwriting a check?
Well, it's instant.
And security.
What do you mean
Yeah.
it's instant?
So
Printing a check on check stock or printing this?
now it gets emailed to them.
So
So if,
who?
to the person like you, if I were to pay you,
It came in the
Huh?
mail.
what?
My client mailed it to me.
Yeah, I don't know what they're on, but this is. I don't know.
Maybe it's different then.
See,
Yeah, maybe theirs is
I
different.
handle this woman's her main company and then some of her little subsidiaries. I do rewrite it up once or twice a year. And so when we got to the end of the year, a couple of her little companies were their 1099s and stuff. And so in one envelope she had printed her normal check and then inserted this funny looking one.
I have a
So
question.
she just printed out, but it's in color. She must use a color printer because it's pink. And
I have a
Well,
question. Does
Go
it come
ahead,
with an
so
attachment?
she could have emailed this to me. I could have printed the email and then scanned it like a regular check.
You should be able to scan it like a regular check now anyway.
What
Yeah,
if someone
And
steals
yeah,
your email?
I am. But I mean, she had to pay postage to get it to me.
yeah. You don't have to worry about mailing it or anything. And if you need.
I don't think she did it right.
Dennis, you had a question?
I don't think she got
Now,
the
what
concept.
happens if does it come as an attachment?
I don't
Oh, from the
But I
email.
got
does
this.
it say?
It said my invoice number in the memo, but
Yeah.
What happens if someone steals your email? Or it goes to the wrong place?
yeah, email's not secure, people.
Well, I don't know. These people have been using it for a while, and they say it's really something about it. They have a safeguard on it.
Okay,
And
we're gonna
maybe
Google.
you have to go to their portal or something, click on the link or something, and then I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I could see if it was a link and you had to sign into the portal. They
Yes.
gave you
Probably maybe a
sort of
password.
password, but
Yeah.
it came as
What's
an
the
Kind of
name
email.
of
like
this
Bill.com, only
I don't know
Bill.com.
too much about it. I just heard about it yesterday, and I said, I'm going to ask,
All right, what should we Google? This is a deluxe e-check. Use the check verification service.
Verify balance, is that what you said, Yvette? Verify balance?
It's called, hold on, let me pull that up again. It's called Verified Valid, V like in Victor, ALID like in dog.
Yeah, that's the website. It says, this is a deluxe e-check. Use the check verification service provided by the Deluxe Corporation if you wish to confirm that this check was issued by the account holder and remains unmodified from the original electronic document. And then the website is verifyvalid.com/verify. Plus it has one of those, what do you call those little square things that can
Yep.
scan?
So I bet you what they do is they have the option I know that they have the option to email that check.
Verify.
Like a link that you have to put in, it's password protected or it has some code, and then you could print it.
Okay, let's see here.
There's a little video there, but it
Yeah.
doesn't say much.
So that'll be our homework this week. Check it out.
I get excited about it because I see this little in my client.
Verified valid.
Yeah, you can receive digital checks, print and deposit them like any other check, or receive them into your own virtual lockbox and even electronically deposit into your account at a participating bank via RDC.
Remote desktop? RD? What did they say?
RDC, remote deposit.
Okay.
It's the whole process of, when you're taking a picture of a check, that whole electronic deposit.
Got it. Got it.
Remote deposit.
I think it's compliance complete.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm so happy to see this. I'm so happy to see other people offering services to be able to use e-checks.
Yeah, I'm so excited because I could see how this will work for one of my clients.
And Dennis, float just goes out the window. Float is old-fashioned. No more float.
That's right.
Well, if you think about it, writing a check with no money in your account is fraud. There's no such really not such thing as float, but when we all did it.
Oh yeah. Well, that was when it took a week for a check to process. No
We're always
more.
hedging our bets and we socials.
No, you don't write that check unless there's money in that account.
How it works.
Right. And checks.
Web-based checks. So people who are traveling and stuff like that, that would be a good way. But I mean, is there a way, I wonder, for us to see, this is what's nice about bill.com is we can process it and then step back, and the owner, whoever has signing ability, can then pull the trigger on the check.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, this isn't going to work for everybody, but I had this one gal, that company used it for their construction company.
Yeah.
And she says it's been working really well.
Good. I'm happy to see people getting away from paper checks.
Yeah,
because to be quite honest, with the tools and stuff that I have now, at any time, I could clean out somebody's bank account just by knowing a bank number and a routing number.
Well, back in the 70s, I worked at an accounting center for a title insurance company, and they had an escrow account for the disbursements. And in the branches, they had what they called float accounts, where they would put the money in and take it out the next day, but there was always a balance in there. And then it kind of went off the rails because people started holding on to the money, and so they started overdrafting all the escrow accounts.
Well, that's why you really can't work that way on that method. I mean, things happen.
I have it.
Money's not available, and then things start bouncing, and then you create a chain reaction.
Yep.
And before you know it, you've got $300 worth of fees and penalties. So, but I do like that. I do like hearing that more companies are offering these e-check services. I'm kind of skeptical though about the email though, because like you said, Sarah, email just is not valid. I mean, not secure.
And they probably have some kind of, it's got to be protected.
Well, you have to have a verified valid. Like, would I have to have a verified valid account? Are people sending payments from a verified valid account to another verified valid account?
That I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of
It would
questions.
make sense if it was a link in the email and then you had to have some sort of secret password login to access it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think they're emailing checks. Let's see. They're
I
different.
would hope not.
That's what she told me, that you could.
Well, no, you don't have to have one. You do not need to have an account to receive a verified valid check. If you do not have an account with us, you can receive checks directly in your email. The check will be a one-time view, print-only PDF. Simply open the PDF, deposit your check as you would any paper check. So she must have opened it somehow, printed it, and mailed it to me.
Probably.
Maybe she did. Maybe she opened it to check it, and it was a one-time view thing. So boom, she had to print it. No
Well,
other
what's this
choice.
deal about no more reconciliation issues? You export your payment.
But
file.
see,
Well,
you
that
know,
doesn't
here,
sound like a
here,
direct deposit then.
you know, with these e-checks, the problem is, can you deposit them more than one time? Didn't we determine that there was?
Well, that's the thing. All these checks that I'm about to scan, there's nothing preventing me to go to the bank. Well, except the
And depositing them in
Yeah,
person,
exactly.
right? Exactly.
But that's grounds to
Yeah.
close your account and you know.
Well, yeah. Oh,
but it's happening
absolutely.
by accident.
But still, if we have the ability to do it, other people do too. You know.
Well, there's got to be some protection. There
It
has, to be.
be an instant way.
Yeah.
Like with credit cards, the systems, they know instantly whether it's good or not. Like, why isn't the banking caught up with that? I don't know. The whole thing with banks is just a bad week for me.
Well, for a long time, they used to be so, local. I worked in banking back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And when I first started out, there were tons and tons of these small banks and savings and loans and mutual savings. And then finally, back in the 80s, it started getting, all failing because of the S&L crisis. And then they started, consolidating to
Right.
be nationally chartered. But a lot of them were state chartered. And when I started out, there was like, maybe about 20 that went out of business because, of the problems back in the, the S&L crisis back in the 80s.
Well, we'll see what we shall see. I'm glad we are headed towards that way. It does seem a lot more secure to me, but the double depositing the checks is still an issue as far as I can see.
Well, I
But
guess
like you said, but then again, if you had tried,
I mean, who do you know is going to be double depositing?
I just had one. I had an employee got a paycheck back in October, took his little picture, and in January the damn thing cleared the bank again. And he found it in the pocket. He thought he hadn't deposited, so he went
Oh,
cash.
yeah.
So we called the bank and blah blah, and we proved that it had cleared twice, and so the banker reversed it. It's not our
And this
fault. And then they go after him. But
This
how much time is it for me to stop what I'm doing? Call the bank.
right,
And
right.
this wasn't even an electronic check, huh?
No, it was a plain old paycheck. And
Wow.
everybody was on direct deposit except this bozo. I guess he doesn't know how to bank, but he must have. If he took a picture of a check, he had a bank account.
And he had the app, correct.
He had the app.
Yeah.
I could have direct deposited unless somebody else direct deposit. Maybe somebody else made the deposit.
Well, you know what happens? Sometimes people don't like to give out their account number. I had a guy like that work for me, and he doesn't even do online banking. He doesn't use an ATM machine.
Yeah.
He likes to protect his identity. He goes directly into the bank.
Does he wear a hat?
He's a little different. I'll tell you,
Does he live in Pennsylvania?
this guy do restaurant bookkeeping like nobody's business.
Does he live in Pennsylvania?
Say again, Dennis?
Does he live in Pennsylvania?
Oh,
No.
stop. That is funny. All right.
Well,
Well,
who's
I'll
scrolling
check it out and see what we find not next week, the week after.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call them on Monday.
Wasn't that funny you brought it up when I practically had this check in my hand? I was so like, and does the client call me? Like, hey, well, look at this new. No. So
We're
now
always the last to learn.
yeah, because this says here, it says something here about easier to reconcile and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, does she do a batch and then there's a direct deposit thing like Bill.com? I don't know.
Kind of like, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, we've changed our system. What
Yeah.
you thought you were looking at in the register now is different.
Hey, Sarah, so do you have a lot of clients on Bill.com?
No, I don't like it.
You don't like it. Hi, Mariette.
I like the concept. I like the concept, and I am forcing clients that have a complex approval process and people that actually approve the final payment. They're in multiple locations. It's perfect for that. But
Yeah,
I really do.
I have not used Bill.com, but the only thing, the thing that what I've seen from it, what I do like is the fact that the client has the ability to prove. Like you said,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't have to press that button.
It's
They do that.
perfect for nonprofits. It's perfect to get people like us out of the
Out of the loop,
bill-paying
absolutely.
business.
I call Bill.com e-banking for businesses, grown up and secure.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I have a whole list. Well, who was talking about stickies this morning when I came in? I use the little free sticky program that comes with Windows. And I've had a Bill.com one over on the corner of my other monitor. And every time something like bugs me, I tape it on there. So I have this long list of wishes. For instance, if a bill comes up and it has, 5 pages, you have to you can't just scroll through it and read the stupid thing. You have to go.
Right.
There's too many. Process-wise, it's just chunky.
It is chunky and clunky. I agree.
It works well.
It could be a lot smoother and easier.
Well, let me ask you. You know what I found? What I'm doing is I open up QuickBooks, I open up Bill.com, and I go through and I read the bills, and I will make sure that the vendor is set up the way I want it in QuickBooks first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way whether it's a 1099 or any of that, but I get it all filled out and then I hit sync. Then I go to Bill. Then I click and start entering all the bills on Bill.com. Then I sync, and then I wait until they approve them, and then approve pay, and then I sync again. So that seems to be working the best for me, is to have the QuickBooks and the Bill.com up at the same time. But if Bill.com, this is interesting to me. If Bill.com can talk to QuickBooks that easily, where you just click on that little sync thing, why can't the other programs? All these other programs that are having difficulty with the getting information back and forth into.
Right. I agree.
Into desktop.
Well, I do actually Bill.com with both desktop and QBO.
Oh yeah, how does it work with QBO?
It works much smoother than desktop. I've had, desktop has that icon or that little program that syncs it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The little icon, you just click on it and say sync. Yeah.
Right. If you upgrade your QuickBooks, you have to upgrade your sync. You have to actually go in. Yes. And well, see, when I upgrade my QuickBooks, I kind of archive the old one and start a new database with the new year. And so I need to go into that icon and repoint it to the database that I'm using.
If you put it in a different place or name it something else.
Right.
So Gina, so what's the purpose of that?
The purpose of the sync?
Yeah, no. Like when you said that you save it on, create a whole new file, like.
Yeah. I have just always done that forever because I'm a pro advisor, and because I deal with so many different versions of QuickBooks, when I'm done, we'll say with 2015, I just archive that so I have a record of it as of 12/31/15, and then when I move on to 2016, I rename my database to say QB16. I have always renamed my databases to say which version of QuickBooks I'm in.
Which version you're in, or
which year
you're working on?
Well, which year? Because my clients could be in QB 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh, you're talking about the version, software year, not year.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Oh, okay,
right,
okay.
right.
So
To
if you look at a data file name, you know exactly what to open it in.
yes.
That's why. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Because I don't do that. I did something like that for 2015, but like I have that all saved on a different drive.
Yeah.
So like I don't, because I have my Mac, and so it's partitioned different. And so, but every time, I mean, I don't have any clients on anything less than 2014. I get them upgraded. I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I try to also, but there are a couple clients that are on 2013 still for me.
I'm going to sunset that.
Not email anything. They're very simple. They're not using any of the online services. So having QuickBooks sunsetted means nothing to them.
Yeah, that's
And
like
since-
this client with the weird check.
But
Right,
let me
and
tell
since
you,
I have all the versions on my desktop, should something happen to theirs, that it gets corrupt and whatever, as long as they have the database, I can reopen it and then reinstall or install a new version and upgrade it to that.
yeah, when this might not matter to you guys, but if one of the software versions are being sunsetted, like the bank feeds won't work once it sunsets.
Right, exactly.
But she's got clients. I like this client that did this weird check on me today. So little, they write 10 checks a year. That's it. It's just a holding company.
So yeah, you know,
Right,
They don't want me
exactly.
to pay for a QBO. They don't want me, they own, oh God, it's horribly old, like maybe 11.
Hey, what else gets sunsetted when what else stops working when it gets sunsetted? I've always wondered that.
Payroll.
Yeah.
Anything that you need to do online. Like you can't email invoices, your email service goes away, bank feeds don't work.
Anything done electronically. That I learned that the hard way. One of my clients was on, I think was in 2012, and then all of a sudden, wow, we can't email invoices. What's up with that? So I call into it and they tell me, well, we sunset that. You can't even get support.
Now, how does the payroll? So, for instance, do they have to be on the latest version and the latest payroll? Because they have
Absolutely,
No,
yes is
okay.
the
Not the
answer.
latest. It doesn't have to be the latest. The next year.
Oh, so the one that's not sunsetted, essentially.
Yeah.
But if you're going to upgrade, you might as well go to the,
But I thought in payroll you always have to be in the most recent one, so you
No.
don't have. Oh, you don't?
No.
You just don't have to be in one that's sunsetted, basically.
Mhm. So they just
okay.
sunsetted 13.
13, yeah.
But they will try to get you to upgrade every year.
Yeah, because I thought that was the case.
No.
Oh, okay.
Why do you think we're being shoved into QBO?
Yeah.
Because we nurse it 2 and 3 years. I mean,
Right.
duh. Unless there's.
So then what would you use a sunsetted product? How would you use it if you can't use anything?
For a checkbook, for a regular general ledger.
For tracking.
Oh, to use it as a check register, basically.
You've got so few
okay.
transactions
Use any features
entering them.
other than online.
Got it.
Right. It's like less than an hour a month to do their work,
Okay.
I was talking to
Totally.
a
including
client.
reconciliations and everything.
Can you import? Can you import still?
No.
Oh, you can't import either?
Well,
Can you?
yeah, wait a minute. You can
Credit
import
card?
maybe a CSV file. I'm not too sure.
I think you can still go to utilities and import
Yeah,
the
through utilities.
file. I think. I haven't tried
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. I mean, they're using so little of the QuickBooks that I really have never even tried.
Yeah.
Hey, I was on the phone the other day with someone that at Intuit, I had to troubleshoot some stuff on my Mac, for the Windows and the QuickBooks. And she noticed that when she went on she remoted in and saw the Q box thing. Oh, what's that? And I go, oh, this is awesome. I told him, this has saved me so many times. And I told her, I showed her how it worked. I'm so glad you told me this, because she said, I had a customer call yesterday. This is the Pro Advisor line, okay? They're telling me this. And they had kind of a situation where they wanted to know how they could share this file with the customer. And the one gal, the customer that called said, Dropbox isn't working. And I go, well, yeah, Dropbox is the worst thing for it. You could get your file corrupted on, Dropbox. But this is not Dropbox. This is specifically made to use QuickBooks.
Yep.
And so we could share the file, and I explained to her how it locks when you're using it. And then when you release the lock, it syncs it to the other person's, books, the QuickBooks. And she just laughed. She goes, can you give me the website? And I told her, I said, yeah, this is.
I hope you gave her your
Give her
link.
your affiliate code.
I should have. I told her.
Oh, is that?
I know. And and then I told her, this thing just works so awesome. And for the price that, the customers pay is nothing.
We hope we're going to be grandfathered in, but they can't hold that price for long.
Yeah, I know.
I
And
know. So
Especially
I want to go back to sunsetting, because Joanne said you can import crap. Why would you want to import crap, Joanne?
Joanne doesn't like to import anything. Everything is crap to Joanne. That's her second word. Joanne crap de balso. She loves it. That's her favorite word. We love you, Joanne. Oh, yes, I love you. I love you. That's what you're saying. I see.
So just nothing goes online and merchant services stop.
Joanne, you didn't like that? You didn't like Joanne crap de balso? I thought you loved that. She knows I love her to death.
What is all that stuff she's writing there? Should I spill it out?
No. We had enough sex with his show on today. I'm like, did you really put that live? Oh my God.
The chat does not come over thankfully.
Don't give her any power.
We'll
She'll start renaming us and things.
Oh goodness, that's
We
so
love
funny.
you, Joanne.
Okay, but then she answered her question, so we can import. It looks like we can import everything.
She says you can import, just not go online.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, merchant services stops,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is a whole nother animal that.
Yeah, I would think you would still be able to import. I wouldn't see why they would take that away. I mean, just so you don't have to manually do anything.
Right.
Right. I had a guy.
When you're talking 10 transactions, it's just as easy to enter it as it is to import it.
That's true.
So
I think we do 6 months worth of work in like a half an hour.
with importing.
With just keying it in, because
Okay.
the mortgage, the property tax return, these holding companies, these LLCs, they may have a rent deposit and a mortgage payment,
Right.
and that's it. And I had a guy call. Here's something I'd like to ask you guys. Not more fire trucks. Oh my God, we had 4 houses burning right next to each other yesterday.
Wow.
Anyway, he has 22 LLCs.
Oh my
And
God.
I said, you're paying for 22 QBO accounts?
He must have
And
money.
then do froms, and it's all disregarded on a 1040. And
Wow.
from what I hear, the quote was, my books are so jacked up. And he gets a bookkeeper for like a week, and they go, I can't do this, and they run screaming. So y'all work with a lot of LLCs, all these, especially if there's a lot of properties and things, and they're just holding companies for.
I don't even deal with it.
I've had clients that have had several databases, things like that. Yes.
Well, the thing is, when you have an LLC, the reason you have an LLC is for asset protection.
Right.
So it's a legal thing, and it's a state thing, not a federal thing. The IRS could care less if you're an LLC. They want to know what kind of federal return you're going to file.
Yeah.
So we're coming at it from a legal angle and an accounting angle. So a lot of these attorneys, charge a fortune to set up all these 10,000 LLCs, and the only thing they say is make sure that LLC has a checkbook. So you have to learn what it is that the company has to do to protect themselves. So if they're going to be an LLC, they have to act like an LLC. They should get all the bills in the LLC name, property in the LLC name. They should sign documents for the LLC. Okay, but that's all a legal angle. If you look at how we compile numbers for a tax return.
Oh yeah, mine have mostly been like, I'll have management fees.
Well, what I'm leading to is I have one where there's no way in hell I was going to have 6 QuickBooks files. So I have, and mainly because I get the receipts. So I was getting the receipts too late. And so, in other words, if it's mainly a checkbook and checks or a debit card out of the proper checkout account, that's one thing. But if they're not going to carry around 20 credit cards, so the owner will have 1 credit card, and he's at Home Depot and he's buying stuff for all his different rental properties. Okay, and the accounting becomes an absolute freaking nightmare. One charge is going to be allocated to multiple LLCs.
Sarah.
So I called his attorney, and I said, "Tell me if one of the LLCs gets sued, okay." How is he in danger for that other attorney to pierce his LLC? Okay, I can print the activity for that LLC. I can isolate it for the 1040. I've got, personal in one column. Every LLC has their own column. Multiple APs, multiple ARs, multiple bank accounts. Multiple fixed assets. I can keep it all separate. Okay. But I could take a credit card charge and split it 4 ways. I mean, it just made no more do tube stuff. So he said as long as I could produce records for just the LLC, he didn't have a problem with it. And then I'd go to the tax accountant and I go, if I give you all his reports in, isolated by LLC, is that all you need? Do you need a separate P&L? I'm printing out in columns and he's doing all the Schedule C's with it. So the tax accountant was happy and that attorney was happy.
Nice.
But yet I keep hearing, don't have it commingled. But the only where it's really commingled.
Well, Sarah, in most cases, you don't want them commingled. This is a special case, I would say. And if you
why? It's not any more special than but what's commingled?
They're separate LLCs, right? They're not an umbrella.
Does
Sarah.
Dwayne can help me?
Sarah, if the owner of the LLCs, if he's going out to Home Depot, and he's using one of the LLC credit cards,
no, a personal credit card,
or using a personal credit card, okay. Mm-hmm. If he's using a personal credit card and he's buying for a specific property, okay, does he keep the transaction separate for each property?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so he also labels which property that expenditure is for, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sometimes when he's in a rush, okay, he may use the credit card for, does he have a credit card per company or do he just has a personal credit card?
Personal. That's why I have a class code for personal.
Oh.
So you're classing all of these.
I do all his personal books too.
Okay, so there shouldn't be any interaction between the different LLCs unless he's advancing one of the other LLCs for monies that he needs to do certain repair and maintenance for that particular property. And if he does do that, then he needs to document that information. That way, then you'll have the due to and due from accounts for each of the 2 companies.
So capital increases you need to keep separate.
The capital increases you definitely have to keep separate,
Right,
for sure.
right.
And you definitely have to keep the repair and maintenance expenditure separate, especially if he's using advances to cover one of the properties that he didn't have money for.
So the LLC has an expense, and does the LLC now owe the owner?
Let's do an example. Let's say you have let's say you had 3 LLCs, okay? Let's say there's 2 LLCs. One of the LLCs has its own credit card, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he used that credit card for expenditures of the other LLC, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to do a due to and a due from between the 2 LLCs.
In the balance sheet.
On the balance sheet, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to document the expenditure so that you record it for that particular LLC that it's for.
Yeah, that side of the entry is easy.
Right.
Expense, allocating all revenue and expenses is easy. If you look at the balance sheet,
right. Well, that's where you have to balance the due to and the due from, and you have to keep really good track of it, and you have to stay on top of him to make sure he gives you the proper information.
Well, when the year is closed and he's a sole proprietor, it just all gets rolled into capital?
Well,
are you saying each LLC has its own capital account?
Well, okay. You basically when you roll it up as in Schedule C, you're only going to show the P&L, right?
I know. That's why I'm like.
But you want to balance your balance sheet to make sure that everything is accounted for, right?
Well, it's accounted for in that. I pay the credit card bill. I mean,
right.
I don't have that at the first day of the next year that each one of these LLCs owes the owner.
So you zero out the due to and the due from accounts.
I don't even have a due from.
Well, that's great. that's less of a headache.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. This is the way I did. This is the way I did it because.
Yeah, but now make sure though, okay, that for each of the LLCs, as far as the expenses are concerned, that you have the right expenses allocated to the right properties.
Right. That's the easy part.
Yeah. If you've got that covered, then you don't have to worry about due to and due from.
See, that's the thing. If I have one set of books, and all my, it's all cash basis, so I don't have payables and receivables, but all the checkbooks, they each have their own checkbook. So any cash that's going back and forth is absolutely rent's going in the right account and the mortgage is going out, And,
okay.
And the bulk of the bills are being paid out of the proper checking account. Where it got crazy is the stupid credit card problem because for convenience, not that LLCs don't have the money, it's just for convenience. He's not going to carry all these different credit cards. So I have his credit card liability, and I post every single credit card charge.
Okay.
And he gives me the receipts, and he'll write on it, well, that's for property, whatever, and that's for property. So when I'm posting the credit card charge, I'm picking the class code, personal, this LLC, that LLC, that LLC.
Right.
And then I have an extra class code for like the CPA to look at. So I have personal. I could care less what he's doing. Okay?
Right.
Half the time I don't like.
Now, does he?
Charges that he's making,
Does he?
So I've got a personal, and then I'll have like property taxes, medical, anything that might affect 1040 at all is in its own column.
Okay.
Interest, income, and stuff like that.
Now,
and all his LLCs have their own area of the chart and their own column.
Okay. Now, what do you do with the costs that he uses as since he's using a personal account, he has general costs that are allocated to all the properties, right? Or no?
Only my bill.
Okay. Then you don't have to worry. So you know how to allocate
interest
that.
for the credit card would be the same thing too. How do you allocate interest on the credit card?
You don't. He cannot write off interest on his personal credit card on an LLC.
What about
the LLC's debt? It's his. Well,
what about the automotive costs related to him conducting business?
He's praise God, he's never done that.
Don't tell them.
Okay,
You know,
don't tell
I
him.
mean, can you imagine? I mean,
Yeah, that's why I say that's
these are
in
corporate warehouses.
general.
These are corporate warehouses, stuff like that, where there's
Oh, okay.
practically no activity at all. And like,
Oh, okay.
we'll have a management company,
Right.
like
Yeah.
beach rentals and stuff like that. He ain't going
Right.
there. He ain't doing
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
And is it single member?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his attorney went in and just took every bit of his properties. And when he had his big company, you know, the trucks were in you know. Now as he's retired, it's getting simpler and simpler. But it was like, you know, people go, you can't have it in the same set of books, and I'm like, you know, because they said, well, what if the LLC gets audited, like the IRS audit? And I said, you think they're going to audit just the Schedule C and not the whole return?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, come on,
Exactly.
be realistic. So
Uh,
the fact that I have it all in the same set of books, so
As long as you can
Nice.
account for it and make it work, I don't see a problem. It's just an in general kind of thing that you say to clients, you know, you want to have your own each separate company with an EIN number.
Now,
and they all
Sarah,
each LLC has a separate EIN. And now the guy that called me this week that owns I want to say a franchise, but it's not. You know, he's got 7 in his building and 8th one, and he's the one that has 20, 21, 22 LLCs. Yeah, one of the LLCs is the manager. All
I had a
payroll,
client like
every
that.
bit of the payroll runs through that company.
That stuff is kooky. I mean,
That company then leases out.
Right.
So
Then you have all
they're
that complicated
tracking
journal entries every
time.
day.
Yeah, they're tracking time and all that. So like a controller, my time, it'd be like a nonprofit. You'd have to do a time study and see how to allocate, or it could be in the lease. It could be, you know,
Right.
a lot of different ways to do it. But, you know, that made me feel a little better that he's got all payroll in one place. So it's just a lot of journal entries when it comes to the management side.
Just saw headlights behind you. Is that Mark
I
coming
know you
up?
always see Mark come home before I do.
Hey, Gina, you
Yes.
remember that Facebook post I put last weekend about somebody giving you $50,000?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk
I'm having
spam.
it.
That is spam.
There's another hijacking going on of a Facebook account that one of my friends, they're asking about, let's see, says, I said, how are things going? Says, I'm pretty good. I'm so happy right now. Hope you have been contacted by the Facebook team. And I said, why would the Facebook team contact me? I don't think this person speaks English as their first language. I was made to know Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook founder, Bill Gates are giving back to the society for the profit they made from the shares they sold to recently go old, disabled, retires, who uses Facebook to communicate. Are you there? I'm here.
Are you there?
Did you get your money? And I said, what money?
Mark just got in. He's going to start talking in that voice.
They used our profile name to enter for it and saw your profile name on the list also. Did you get your money yet? I am out. I got $50,000 from them. They're using it to help people on Facebook. And I said, did you get yours?
Spam.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
So this
if
is
it's
a chat
too
in
good to be
Facebook?
true, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a Facebook chat. You know, what they do is they ask for a friend request. And it was somebody I know, and so I think I'd already granted it. So I think somebody's hijacked his account.
Right.
We're trying to go sit on his shoulders next.
Right. I believe it.
Yeah, I got one last week that it's a friend request from a friend, and then I went, I'm already her friend.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you really got to be
Oh,
careful.
and they just hijacked her main picture, her all that stuff that they could find online,
Yep.
where she lived, and
In that case, I generally contact the person with the account that I know is correct and say, hey, you
just go
better
look at the page. There's no activity.
Right.
And then you can see on the friends there the people who have fallen for it. So then you spend all day calling your friends going,
Yeah.
Before we go, Dwayne wanted to talk about the changes in Intuit. Dwayne.
Oh, I just want to know what everybody's response has been to the arbitrary changes that Intuit has made with the ProAdvisor program and how whether or not they liked it or disliked it or what.
Arbitrary?
Well, not necessarily arbitrary, but
No, I would never do that. Sorry.
The fact that you can be advanced with just having a certain number of QuickBooks Online clients.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, all the hard work that we went through in order to become advanced certified, it kind of makes light of all the hours we put in and the sweat and tears we put in.
What? That's
Tell them about what happened.
What?
Dennis talked about this months ago. This
What's
happened
that?
months ago.
What's
Wait,
that?
tell them about what happened with your certification thing, your advanced thing.
Oh, I was renewing my advance, and I went to take a look on my certificate. Oh no, I was renewing one of the other versions. I think 2016, and we went to the certification locker, and it wouldn't recognize that I had passed the test. So I called support, and they went in and they said, "Oh, well, now that you passed, you could test for advanced." I said, "Well, I'm already advanced," and the representative said, "Well, it's not in your locker." And I go, "What? I've been an advanced certified ProAdvisor since 2007." She says, "Well, the information is not in here." So I had to get a copy of my certification and my test scores and submit it to them for them to reestablish it. Now I think that's crazy.
They lost it, and they make him look for the work. And I was talking to this person at ProAdvisor line yesterday, and they said, that's right. If it's not on the screen, you
Then
have to show
it never
proof.
happened to them.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's why you need
Google
to
themselves
print out
right.
your results every time you take that test.
Yeah.
That's
Every
right.
single
You're
time.
right.
I've
Yeah.
actually had that happen to me before
Yeah.
too, and I've had to submit, look, I already did this. I don't want to do it again. Here, I'll fax it to you. Or I'll
Yeah, right.
Mine just says a green certified pro advisor. Doesn't tell you where it happened all the years.
Right. Well, since
Is that
they
gone?
upgraded their
Yeah, they took that away.
they
Who gives a crap if somebody just did it one time, and I've been doing it since day one.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. I agree.
So, Dwayne, what is happening with the advanced? I didn't see that.
What was this about? If you have so many clients, you get bumped up to advanced without even taking a test?
Yeah, if you have a certain number of clients, then they automatically bump you up to
Well,
advanced.
that's for QBO.
QBO.
Yeah, for
Well,
QBO,
you get
right.
advanced. You get, well, as Joanne put it, you get better support based on the number of QBO clients that you have. So I have kept my advanced status just because I have the number, I've met that number.
That's on QBO, or is that on desktop?
It's
I think it's
QBO.
on both. I don't think now at this point, what you get is is it diamond, and then I don't know what the lower levels are, silver.
Yeah,
Gold.
silver and gold.
Silver and gold.
Silver and gold.
Yeah. So I wrote that advanced desktop twice for nothing.
It is frustrating. It is. And yeah, when they changed everybody's profile on the ProAdvisor site. When they revised it, many
another
people
thing.
didn't get their certifications come over.
Oh, see,
I
I'm
actually
trying to.
lost all my recommendations. They were not able to bring them back. I had, yes, I had like 5 or 6 recommendations.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to get into ProAdvisor.
Good recommendations, and they were just completely lost. And my only solution to that was to get new recommendations.
Wow.
Yeah.
I better get on mine and check mine and see what's happening there.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone should be checking their profile and seeing what's happening. I have not, I used to have I always thought that I wanted the advanced certification so that I would be higher up in ranking when you went to that ProAdvisor site and find a ProAdvisor. I was always at the top of the list. But the quality of the people that were calling in, the referrals were just so bad. They were basically people trying to look for free support.
Yeah. I find that as well. The calls I was getting, we see you advanced, and then they don't want to pay. They think it's free.
Right.
So
or people that are trying to get support and they get somebody that's foreign and can't understand them.
Yeah.
We have a problem. We have this support issue, and we wanted to talk to somebody that speaks English. So we found this number. I'm calling you, and I
Well,
think
maybe I should not do the full-blown Pro Advisor this year. Maybe I should just do the one, because I only have one client on Enterprise, and I can log me in.
I got rid of the full blown. I just do.
Yeah.
I can still take my test, but
Like $200, like $200.
Bother.
Yeah, it's $200 cheaper, isn't it, if you don't get Enterprise on point of sale?
Right, and I never use point of
Yeah.
sale, and
Yeah, I don't
I don't
either.
use the Mac, and I had nobody on Enterprise, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting away from doing QuickBooks Consulting. So
Yeah.
the one thing it's good for is that it gives me this big discount on ITO, so it's worth having. You know, it pays for itself by just the discount.
Discount for what?
Intuit Tax Online.
Oh.
You get 30%. You get 30% off. In fact, actually, I bought 10 today, and I want to see if the 30% would work on that. And I applied it on that too, and it worked. So great.
Bye,
So
Joanna.
Bye, Joanna.
Oh, I wasn't watching my chat.
Bye, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. It was nice having you.
Nice hanging with you, I guess.
I guess we are at our time. Does
I have to go
anybody have
file
anything else they
W-2s.
wanna- Pardon?
I have to go file W-2 since it's the 26th.
I'm still playing with this guy on the Facebook.
I'm talking about state. They're not late until, what, Monday at midnight? I should
Not till midnight.
You have all weekend.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's already after hours, so if you have a problem, I'm going to be on the phone Monday with everybody other bozo in the country that
Hey,
waited.
and 1096s are due Monday too, right?
Yes.
What? What? What?
1096s.
Not
Those are if you
e-file.
mail them.
Not e-file.
E-files.
Yeah, but if you're mailing,
Oh, I'm
E-file, you don't need 1096s.
yeah, e-file, you don't need them.
included. It's included. Well, next year nobody has a break, right? Everything's due January 31st.
I saw that. Is that really true? I mean, is that really happening?
For
Everything
W-2s, I
in the
can't see any
1099
proof for the 1099 e-file. I haven't seen any proof of that yet. So there's no hope.
Wow.
I think I may just go ahead and just file all my W-2s, Fed and state, and just be done with it. Because by this time, I'm all right. It's the 1099s I don't want to do early.
Right, because you never know what you're going to get back.
I'm still getting,
Yeah.
but most of it's address problems. I could care less.
Right.
Stick in another envelope. And, if I haven't e-filed it yet, I'll fix it. But they're just used for me. So.
Okay, everybody, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, next
Bye.
week is our
Bye,
10
Joanne.
demo.
Have a
We'll
good
see you
weekend.
next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I'm still having fun playing with this Facebook thing. He says,